Babe, mom, help me, somebody help me. Hi there, welcome to my channel. I'm Kerrah and this is Black Mama Support Group. This channel is an extension of the Black Mama Support Group membership where Black mamas and mamas to be find support, empowerment, and community. This video today is the first in a series that I will house on my channel called Black Birth Stories. When I was pregnant, I did a lot of birth story research. I was very interested in the process and what people went through. I looked for different kind of birth stories as far as medicated births, non-medicated, hospital, at home, a birth center, all that different stuff. And I just didn't see a lot of Black people. So I wanted to start with my own, and I extend the opportunity to share your Black birth story with all of the Black mamas who are a part of the membership. So if that's something you're interested in, then become a member. Anyway, so the story of KJW, my beautiful daughter. So for context, I will say that my due date was August 12th. I didn't actually give birth to her until August 17th. So you can imagine what being, past your due date is like. I also had an unmedicated birth, technically, so I didn't have an epidural or any drugs. And I gave birth at a birth center. And my only support person was my husband. And that is because I love him very much, of course. But also we were limited because of COVID. So I would have also had my mom in there with me, but she wasn't allowed. It was against the rules. So it was that, and I had midwives. So there was a midwife and a nurse and like a nursing assistant who would come in and out, but they weren't there consistently for the most part. It was just me and my husband. It was the day that I cut all of my hair off. That Saturday, the 15th, I walked. My husband and I went to the gym that night, and he actually full on worked out, and I walked on the treadmill, very lightly, very casually, as casual as you can with a 9 months belly. Okay. So I did that. It was totally fine. Cool. So later on in the night, I pretty much start feeling contractions. It starts to feel much different than the Braxton Hicks, which didn't hurt. It gets hard and tight, but it doesn't hurt. So I start to have contractions that hurt. Maybe like 3 o'clock in the morning or something like that. Enough to pay attention to, but not enough to do anything. So I am progressively having more and more contractions. They're not really getting any close together. They're not really consistent at all, but I know that I am experiencing early labor. It does hurt. When it happens, it hurts, but it's not, like I said, it's not enough to go and do anything about it, but it was kind of painful. So that is going into Sunday. So on Sunday, I am getting to the point where I'm telling my family, yeah, okay, Mom, you may want to come because this is gonna happen soon. I don't know when, I don't know how soon, but you may want to make your way here, because my mom had planned to come and just help out in the early days. And her and my sister were gonna come. And so they started making their way, and I like I said, you do research and you try to prepare for labor and delivery, and you just don't know until you know. But I think what's true is you know your body. I feel like I was able to listen to my body and follow my body. The only thing that I didn't know was how much, like at what point I needed to go to my birthing location, right? So like I said, I gave birth at a birth center. I did all my prenatal care at a birth center with midwives, and I lived about 25 minutes from the birth center. And so I just didn't know when to go. I didn't want to go and then they send us back home, which is exactly what happened. I'm like, okay, they feel consistent to me and they hurt, so let's do something. So we went to the birth center. I call, you call the number and they ask you questions and they tell you, okay, well, come in, we can see what's going on. So me and my husband, we go to the birth center, and they check me the first time ever. They check me to see if I'm dilated, which is like, not a great feeling experience. But they monitor my contractions a little bit, and they're like, yeah, that's not really enough for us to do anything or for you to stay here. So I might have been 2 or 3 centimeters dilated, but they were like, yeah, you can go home. You got quite a while to go. So I am obviously upset. But we go back home and I labor some more at home. They did give me some like medication to help me get some sleep so that I could rest up for what was about to happen. So I think we went to the birth center probably like 4 o'clock in the afternoon on Sunday, and we get back home around 5, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna eat something. I'm going to try to get some sleep in the midst of the belly pain. And I did. I ate, I can't remember what I ate, maybe like some tortilla chips and salsa or like some chicken. I don't know. I don't remember, but I ate something and then I ended up laying down. I might have been asleep for what felt like maybe a couple of hours. And then I just was in pain. It woke me up out of my sleep. I was having contractions consistently. And then like for hours. Like, so my husband is timing them. My mom is like bringing me water and just like making sure I'm okay, like rubbing my back, that kind of stuff. And, I am breathing through the contractions. I felt prepared in that sense. I watched a lot of videos of one particular doula here on YouTube, and I felt like her breathing techniques really helped me. I'm an actor, so the breathing techniques that I learned in classes, in my acting classes really helped as well. Like, I wasn't overwhelmed as far as that was concerned. It was just painful. It was just painful. But it also wasn't painful to the point where I changed my mind and I wanted to get an epidural. It wasn't that for me. It was painful. Like, there's no lie about that, but I knew that I knew that I didn't want an epidural. That would have meant I would have had to go to the hospital. I knew I didn't want to go to the hospital. So, it was all kind of going according to my birth plan. So what happened that made us call the midwife to actually go into the birth center for real, was my water broke. And there was bloody show and I threw up. So all of that happened at the same time. I got up because I felt like I had to throw up. And so at the same time that I was, my water broke. So I had stuff coming out from the top and coming out from the bottom. And so I just let it happen. And then I'm like, babe, mom, help me, something help me. And they came running in and, I took a picture so I could show the the midwives, and we called them right after that. My mom and my husband cleaned up all of what there was to clean up. I threw up in the toilet, so they didn't have to clean that up, but my water breaking fluid was everywhere on the floor, so that had to be cleaned up. So that wasn't fun for them. But after that, my contractions progressively came quicker and were becoming more and more intense, for sure, more and more intense. And the midwives at the birth center where we went, one of the things that they like to say was, you can do anything for a minute, or like you can tolerate anything for a minute, you know, that kind of thing. And you know, it was very much a go with the wave of the contraction kind of thing that I had to tell myself in order to make it through that.